So this is part 2 of Tuesday morning. I had there's a doctor that's trying to help me and my family, and I'm not used to having people be helpful to us. So I'm always like, no, 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 and I'm like kicking myself. Cause I always think in the past I was around more people at kitchen tables and you'd like hit their leg. Shut up. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to, accept your help. But it's very rare, and it's like, don't talk people out of it. If they brought it up, it's not even like I'm begging someone, please. Well, okay, fine. Like, people cave to stuff. I don't beg people because most of the people I know are not willing to be helpful, and if they offer to help, or if you tell them, oh, I'm looking for help in this situation, the people that I know have been very unreliable. So they will say, yeah, I'm going to help you move, I'm going to get a truck, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And one time I had to do for domestic violence support, I needed to get a police escort. So I set up the police escort. I set up one person who was going to lift boxes, and the other person was going to have the truck. And the person with the truck did not show up, and I had to cancel the meeting because I didn't have really any way to get the stuff home. I had to cancel the police and cancel everything, and it's just a mess, It's just like, I mean, you're dealing with something that's a timely manner, that's this and that and the other, and like you have that one link. And I understand people's car could break down, parents could be in the hospital with a heart attack, they could, but the thing with the people that I know, they won't tell you that they're not showing up. So you're going and you're getting all these people involved, and then you're showing up the meetup spot, and they're just like, either you track them down or like, no, I changed my mind, I don't feel like helping you. Or you don't hear from them for 6 to 9 months, and you're just like texting, calling, are you coming, and then that's even worse, because like I said, you all have some sort of B, but if you show up at the meeting place and you're expecting them to show up, you didn't have a chance. And I try to confirm stuff the day before, and I'm like, you're coming right, and sometimes people are like, yeah, and the next day you don't hear a thing. They're like, you're gonna be there 1 o'clock, right? And so the people end up like no showing, not telling. If you had known ASAP from a simple text or something, you could come up, or not come up, but actually put in effect your plan B and do. So it's either the plan B or it's come up with another plan, or plan C. You can call, you can cancel it, especially if you have other people. Some things like when an inspection ate someone, plan B at one of these times, and the neighbor's like, oh, my kid doesn't feel we're going to go to Nordstrom and go shopping. I was like, these people are going to come, and there's a 2-hour window, and this person promised for like 21 to 30 days in advance, and they just get in the car and go, and you're just like, wait, where are you going? You said you're going to be at my house. And they're like, no, I changed my mind, I don't feel like doing it. But they can't even, like, if you don't see them, you're thinking, yeah, they're going to come over, I'm going to go to my class. It was a clinic shift I had to go to my clinic shift. But that lady, she promised a month in advance to come. Oh, no problem, I will be there. And then the manager was like, oh yeah, if you're not home, I'll come. And I was still kind of like, you never know, this person has little kids, you never know. And then the manager said she usually works her other job, but they happen to have the day off that day, so that job's going to call her in, and then my plan C, I had set up, you're not allowed to miss clinic, unless you're sick or emergency or this. I mean, it's kind of a family emergency, because if I didn't show up, if someone 18 or older didn't show up, so I had a kid that was 18, it'd be no problem. Stay home. You're not going to work that day, whatever. I'd be like, sorry. you're not going to school today, sorry. But it's like, if you have someone over 18, we don't have friends enough, families don't have reliable friends or family or relatives. And I made arrangements with a teacher that I might show up late or for the shift. Is that, and it's kind of like I would have turned in my paperwork saying that this is kind of a family situation where they state on the bottom of the paperwork that you have one strike, you're out, and it has to be a medical excuse to miss. So if you can go get a neighbor to be like, oh yeah, the guy comes, just let him in, period. That sounds simple, but if you have people that are very unreliable, that's not going to happen. And so if you don't have anyone and they come, you're not here, you better have a doctor's note saying you're in the ER or something, or you just had a heart attack, or your kid's having an asthma attack. If you have a doctor's note, they'll give you a chance to twice a well, I didn't use my sick days for myself because I have kids, and when you have kids in school, they're gonna call from the office and be like, your kid just puked. How soon can you get here? Or your kid just fell, or some kid just kicked your kid in the head, which I wish I hadn't. They're like, bring some Neosporin, and I'm like, dude, he went to the ER with a concussion. Hours later, I would have dropped everything. So I would save my sick days for that, because if you have a support network, you can call somebody and say, oh my god, I'm in school, I'm not allowed to leave, can you go pick up my kid and check out the situation? Even if they have to sit with him on a park bench outside the school for 45 extra minutes. It's not like, oh, my kid has whooping cough or something. You're not going to expose the elderly person or whatever to that. But if it's like, go evaluate the situation. And if someone would have been able to evaluate that situation, I would have been able to. Well, I got there as soon as I could, but my kids had a play at night, and I was getting the camera charged car, and I had it on the other side of town, so I had to travel. If I had known my son had concussion, my daughter tried to call me, and they wouldn't let her use the phone, and that was the one day she left her cell phone at home. The one day. There's a day that I swapped cell phones because I put them in bags at night or in the dark, and hers is red. Her flip phone was red, and mine was black. I really like the color of that cute little red phone. But yeah, I just feel like it's sickening, and it's like one of those things where people that have shared parenting, even if they're not together with the other parent, that has grandmas and grandparents and different neighbors or some support network. Oh, the lady at work works different hours than me. She said she would babysit once in a while because she has her kid, like a play date or something with 2-year-olds. People will say this great support, get on these internet groups and go do hiking and all this stuff, and I'm like, I've been so bogged down that I haven't been able to do that kind of thing. Like, I haven't been able to I hear something. I'm wearing, like, I was like, this is a Get Real. It's like, these are my clothes that I wear around the house, because my other ones, the nicer clothes, actually some of my nicer clothes, I'll show you this. I'm changing the subject because I feel like I'm whining. Anyways, this is part 2. I don't even remember I was talking about part 1. I was talking about struggling, going to school without the financial aid, trying to believe people that are really unreliable. You feel like you're, and then you have, you have the faith in God, and that is the ultimate. Like, don't put your trust in man. And I can easily forget, because it's like you pray and ask God, can you guide me to a person who will, say, be home for the inspection or emergency contact or something. So I'm actually going to call this. She has my key to my house, and I'm going to ask her back so I can put it with that. I was thinking, what other person? I'm going to ask her if she has it, because last I checked, she's like, we don't have your key. So I'm just changing the subject. I had a bunch of people from the old church say they loved IKEA, or not IKEA, well, people love IKEA too. they loved Nordstrom Rack. And I went one day, one of those days where I needed to get clothes for clinic because I had gained weight and then I lost weight. All of my clothes were used, back sometimes when we will have the number to get it because it didn't look like that one. It's like one of those things you come home and wear it once and it just, and you don't realize, like you hold it up and even try it on, you don't realize that that's why they got rid of it, because it's like, oh, this is worn down, and then it's destroyed. That's why some people were yelling at, I was watching Sophia My Great Challenge, people were yelling at her for not donating or recycling and stuff, some of the stuff, and it was kind of like, it's stained, it's old, it's Holey, or missing buttons or something, and it sucks to pay if they're charging $8 for a wool sweater and you get home and you can't around the house because I don't want to mess up my other clothes. So I had lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight. Was wearing used clothes. And this, if it's something like this that was bought at a thrift store, thrift stores are really expensive. Like I said, the Salvation Army is at the 50% off days. Like I don't know if it was once a month. I should go after church because that's where that one was. There's a boutique here. I've never been in it. I'm scared to go in because the price is so high. If I wanted silk, usually I would go just to get my kids' school play outfits. Most of the used I'm talking about is somebody's like, hey, I got a bunch of junk in my trunk. I was going to donate. I don't feel like taking it to the Goodwill. Here you go. Flop garbage bags in my trunk out of clothes that somebody, and often they're like, oh, what size you wear? They'd be too long or too fat or too skinny. And I just saved them out of desperation because you had to follow a dress code. There's no jeans, no shorts, no mini skirts, whatever. And, nice top. And we wear white tops or white coats some of the time, all the time, most of the time. You can get away with putting a t-shirt underneath, but you still want to look professional to your shift leaders. And some people are really like super stylish and everything. And it can look professional, it can look a little sleazy, but I'm not a young person. Everybody is like 20 years younger than me, so I was just like old lady. So I had gotten a pair of sweatpants, Adidas. The snap, I ordered those, sorry, that was a different thing. I think I ordered those, the snaps had come apart on the side. I just recently threw them away. They were thick, nice, thick material. And they were the snap apart pants, and the snaps wouldn't stay snapped, and I was like, I should just sew these up. I should have done that, but whatever. I mean, I got ripped off. What I should have done is shipped it back to the company. I got them pants, a couple, and I got a skirt, this sweater, and like a bra, a sports bra. Something like that, just a couple of things. I might have got my daughter jeans or something. Like I got my son sweatpants. Their stuff was fine. So the first time I washed the skirt, it was what skirt is it? It's a brown, I don't know, it's kind of like bamboo-y. I don't know if it's bamboo-y, that's what I remember. Dark brown skirt, hem, out in the wash. And I was like, oh, I'll just sew it. But it was a hidden hem. My daughter knows how to fix that. I just left it on him because it was borderline clinic. Most people would be like, I don't care, I'm wearing a miniskirt. But as a African American black person and having people make up rules, like literally shift leaders and residents would make up rules and be like, you're breaking the rules. I'm like, that's not even a rule. I memorized the rule book and I went to the clinic person in charge of all the clinics and I went over the rule book because I already had people making up rules towards me, and in clinic ed classes people were making up rules about hairstyles and all. I'm like, well, I'm black and I don't have straightener in my hair and I wash my hair regularly and I have a braid that you think is a dreadlock, or I had dreadlocks, I actually cut them. I had long dreadlocks, I cut them because of the school, and I think that's kind of racist when you're not your hair cranky hair, that they had to look in my hair with glasses to say, oh, I never saw hair like that. Like, I'm not Michelle Obama. I do not have straight hair like that in her girls. I am African American, natural hair, and I have to do what I can do to maintain the best cleanliness. And I do not want any straighteners, chemicals, or perms, or any even non-chemical straighteners. So this sweater got a hole in it the first time I washed it. Kind of just did gentle cycle, or I don't even think I washed it. I don't think I washed it for like 6 times that I wore it, which is not my style. So it'd be like, okay, go out for the day, come back, take it off. So you're not like wearing it for 12 hours and then air dry it. And then I washed it on gentle. I think the holes were already in it. So now I'm all paranoid. Everything, I mean, this feels like it's a worn out hole. I'm like, oh my god, are there moths in my closet eating holes? And I'm scared. I should, because I never saw any moths in my closet. This is like completely full of holes. And the first couple times I wore it, maybe the first time I wore it, I noticed all these holes. And I feel like if you look at it closely, it looks like the stitch came out. It doesn't look like, it just looks, you know, when I have Afghan over there, that's like that. The stitch came out. This is really, I don't even know this is mine. I'm thinking that my dad's mom made this. See right here? This is like something happened where the stitch came out. I actually tied this in a knot, but it's like something broke or came undone, and that's what this looks like up close. If you, this kind of like a magnifying glass view. So it just seemed like there was tons of clothes on the shelf, and this place is packed full every day. There was tons of clothes on the shelf, full of holes, like name brand stuff that had just gouged out, and I'm like, do people just buy it for the label and go and patch it and sew it? Stuff was on the ground, and I'm like really, you should probably just put that in the clothing recycle people use to make textile recycling products, rugs and stuff. But I mean, I'm sure there's people that buy it. Like I would occasionally buy stuff and realize it was stained or torn and be like, alright, I want a discount, because then I save money and I can buy some milk for the kids or something. So this, it's like you can wear it as name, but it's like go somewhere and they're gonna be like, man, she's wearing a Holey sweater, you know. And it's, I went there one other time. I think I had got a sports bra that was Nike, and it just like, it just falls off. It's like, this is for like a 3-year-old playing dress up in their closet somewhere in their house. And I can't, I just pulled it out. I just try to wear it sometimes with a, not capri, a cami top. Try to, but it's in the maybe pile right now. I finally pulled it out because that would be something to wear when I absolutely had no clean laundry. And I was just like, you walking around with the straps were really thin elastic. I have a couple items, and I was thinking, oh, it's name brand, it's from the store, everyone loves the store, why is it such bad quality? And that's just, and I had other people, they said they had no problems shopping there. So it's like people like to buy their shoes. I just had, I don't think I got anything else for myself, just those 3 items, the bra, the sweater, and the skirt for myself. And they all, every one of them, like within the first time of wearing, it should have been, oh my god, I'm going back to the store and returning this. But you know, I save my receipts, and you save so much stuff you don't know where to find them, and most of the stuff now is in the closet downstairs. So with that, I'm going to push stop. I have to work on my business. I have a couple of, like, well, a few cents here of change that I'm deciding that's all going in one spot. I have a lot of, when I do the births, I will talk about that later, in finishing my training. I find it very challenging, and I will share more about that. And I have traditional school because your doctor is writing a note and saying, by law you have to give this person, absence because they're sick or because their symptoms flared up. And I have a training program. It's kind of apprenticeship, but not really, where things are not really set in writing. And there's a lot of extra you have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and push stop. I will. This is kind of like I said on my phone recording, it would be called Get Real, because it was, I feel so far away. It was primarily saying that because it was that the radio was on and or the CD, I didn't want to have copyright violation in case you do something recording. First, gotta go.